A deep mystery lurks in the shadows of the Vatican, where secret documents may contain a truth that would change everything we know about Jesus. Imagine a hidden, closely guarded record that reveals that he not only lived, but also had descendants. This idea, which seems like fiction, may be more real than you imagine. For centuries, the Catholic Church has been a stronghold of power and control, and many wonder, what else is being hidden? What if this lineage still lived among us? Conspiracy theorists believe this revelation could shake the foundations of modern Christianity, challenging established beliefs and dogmas. Various historical evidence and reports from intrigued scholars emerge, fueling speculation. Ancient documents, whispers of secret heritages, and enigmatic biblical figures raise questions that cannot be ignored. Could it be possible that the truth about Jesus' lineage was hidden in plain sight? Brace yourself, because the journey behind this enigma promises to reveal more than just secrets. It could lead us to an entirely new understanding of the past. The secrecy of Vatican documents is a tradition that goes back centuries. This practice is based on the need to protect sensitive information and ensure the privacy of the Church's internal affairs. Since the first papacies, secrecy has been seen as a way to preserve the integrity of ecclesiastical communications and decisions. The criteria for keeping a document secret vary, but generally involve issues of security, diplomacy, and the protection of faith. This secrecy also had a profound impact on the public perception of the Church. Many people see the Vatican as a place surrounded by mystery, where important secrets are kept under lock and key. This has spawned a series of conspiracy theories, ranging from allegations about the cover-up of scandals to speculation about the true nature of historical figures such as Jesus. The lack of access to documents considered confidential fuels curiosity and distrust, leading to alternative narratives about the history of the Church. Furthermore, the idea that the Catholic Church keeps hidden information about its own history and doctrine creates fertile ground for speculation. This aura of secrecy contributes to the construction of myths and legends that surround the institution. Even critics of the Church recognize that the opacity of information can generate erroneous interpretations and exacerbate distrust between the faithful and the ecclesiastical hierarchy. Thus, the history of Vatican secrecy is not just an administrative issue, but an essential part of the narrative about the Church. The relationship between secrecy and power is also a relevant issue. By keeping certain documents secret, the Vatican ensures not only the protection of sensitive information, but also the maintenance of its control over the historical narrative. This creates a paradox. While secrecy is a preservation tool, it can also be seen as a social control mechanism. The Church, in deciding what should be revealed or kept secret, shapes the public perception of its own history. Vatican secrecy is a phenomenon that reflects the complexity of the interaction between faith, history, and power. The tradition of keeping documents secret is not just a logistical issue, but a strategy that has profound impacts on the Church's relations with the faithful and society in general. This dynamic continues to reverberate, generating discussions and debates that remain relevant to this day. The discussion about Jesus' lineage is a question that fascinates many people. Some theories suggest that Jesus had a family, including a wife and children. This idea, although controversial, has gained momentum over the years, especially after the publication of books and films that explore this narrative. Among these theories, some claim that Mary Magdalene was the wife of Jesus, which would open up a range of possibilities about the continuity of his lineage. These theories are often fueled by apocryphal texts and other non-canonical documents that were excluded from the New Testament. These writings, although not officially recognized by the Church, offer an alternative view of Jesus' life and relationships. For example, the Gospel of Mary and the Gospel of Philip present Mary Magdalene in a way that suggests an intimate closeness to Jesus. These texts challenge the traditional narrative and provoke new interpretations of the figure of the Messiah. Furthermore, the popularity of these theories reflects an intrinsic human curiosity about historical figures. The desire to connect with the humanity of Jesus, rather than seeing him solely as a divine entity, is a theme that resonates deeply with many. This search for a more personal narrative can be seen as an attempt to understand universal issues, such as love, family, and sacrifice. However, it is not just non-canonical literature that feeds these theories. Symbolism and iconography throughout art history also play an important role. Paintings and sculptures often depict Jesus and Mary Magdalene in ways that suggest a deeper relationship. This, in turn, fuels the popular imagination and contributes to the perpetuation of these ideas. Theories about Jesus' lineage are not just an academic curiosity. They touch on broader questions about identity, faith, and the search for hidden truths. Although these theories are often viewed with skepticism by the Church, they continue to provoke debate and reflection, revealing the complexity of Jesus' legacy and his influence on contemporary culture and spirituality. In recent years, several historical documents have been analyzed in search of clues about Jesus' lineage. Among them, some ancient manuscripts and little-known texts gained prominence, generating heated discussions among scholars. These documents, which have often been considered apocryphal, raise questions about the authenticity and origin of the information contained in them. The curiosity surrounding this topic makes many wonder, to what extent can these texts be considered reliable? A famous example is the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, which suggests a closer relationship between Jesus and Mary than traditionally accepted. Scholars who have studied these texts argue that they may contain hidden truths about the life of Jesus and his family. However, criticizing the authenticity of these documents is a complex task, as it involves not only analyzing their content, but also the historical context in which they were written. Furthermore, the work of contemporary authors such as Dan Brown has popularized the idea that there are secrets hidden in ancient texts. His novels sparked unprecedented interest in the subject, leading many to investigate the veracity of the claims. However, it is important to distinguish between fiction and history, as many of the arguments presented in these books are not supported by concrete evidence. On the other hand, the search for truth in historical documents also reveals a deeper dimension about faith and tradition. The possibility of a lineage of Jesus, if proven, could change the way the story is told and understood. This provokes a question about which truths are really accepted and which are just narratives constructed over time. Thus, the analysis of suspicious historical documents is not limited to just an academic exercise. It is an invitation to reflect on the very essence of history, faith, and the search for truth that permeates humanity. This journey can bring to light new interpretations and influence the way we view historical and religious figures. The debate over Jesus' lineage has attracted the attention of many academics and researchers around the world. Many of them are dedicated to investigating the possibility that Jesus had a family and consequently descendants. These scholars use a variety of sources, from historical texts to archaeological analyses, to support their theories. Their work is fundamental to understanding the implications of a Jesus lineage. Among the best-known researchers, names such as the French historian René Guénon and the American writer Margaret Starbird stand out. Both explore apocryphal texts and make connections between religious traditions and the figure of Mary Magdalene. For them, there is evidence to suggest that the relationship between Jesus and Mary may have been more significant than most traditional narratives admit. This perspective challenges the conventional view and provokes reactions of both support and resistance. The reception of these theories in the academic and religious community is, without a doubt, an intriguing aspect. While some academics welcome the new approaches enthusiastically, others remain skeptical, arguing that the evidence is insufficient. The tension between tradition and innovation is palpable, and this leads to heated debates at conferences and academic publications. Furthermore, research into Jesus' lineage also raises questions about the role of women in the Christian narrative. The figure of Mary Magdalene, for example, has been re-evaluated by many scholars, who see her as a central character in the story of Jesus. This new perspective can contribute to a broader understanding of the importance of female voices in religious history. The work of scholars and researchers is, therefore, essential not only for historical analysis, but also for the construction of new narratives. By challenging traditional conceptions, they open space for a more inclusive and multifaceted dialogue about the life of Jesus and its implications for contemporary faith. This quest for knowledge and understanding is a reflection of human curiosity regarding the past and the significance of the figures who shaped history. The revelation of a lineage of Jesus could bring significant changes to Christian theology. The idea that Jesus had a family with a wife and children calls into question many of the foundations of traditional Christian doctrine. This is because, currently, Jesus is seen mainly as a divine figure without family ties that could weaken his position as the Son of God. Discussion about this lineage can cause many adherents to reevaluate their beliefs and the nature of their faith. Furthermore, the question of lineage can generate a profound debate about the nature of incarnation. If Jesus had descendants, this could open space for new interpretations about his mission and his role in the salvation of humanity. Theologians could argue that this new perspective not only humanizes Jesus, but also makes him more accessible to believers. This could lead to a reformulation of concepts that have been considered unquestionable for centuries. The authority of the Catholic Church may also be affected. Historically, the Church has supported the idea that Jesus is unique and without equal. A new interpretation that suggests a lineage could challenge the authority of the Church in matters of faith and morals. This could result in a crisis of credibility, especially if the Church is unable to provide satisfactory answers to the new questions that arise. How religious leaders react to this new information will also be crucial. If they can adapt their doctrines and explain these new discoveries in a way that makes sense to the faithful, they may be able to maintain unity among their followers. On the other hand, if the response is negative or defensive, it can lead to even greater division within the Christian community. Concern for the continuity of faith is an important point. For many, the revelation of a lineage can be seen as a threat to the tradition and spirituality that has been passed down from generation to generation. How believers handle this new information could shape the future of the Christian faith, and this will certainly be a topic of discussion for many years to come. The release of a document that suggests Jesus' lineage could have significant repercussions on contemporary society. Curiosity surrounding historical and religious figures is always high, and a new angle on the life of Jesus could attract the attention of believers and skeptics alike. This could spark heated debates on social media, television shows, and even in classrooms, where history and religion intersect. Culturally, the idea that Jesus may have descendants could inspire new works of art, literature, and cinema. Just as works like The Da Vinci Code sparked great interest, a new understanding of Jesus' personal life could result in a wave of productions that explore this theme. This would not only enrich popular culture, but also encourage deeper reflection on the figure of Jesus in modern society. This search for hidden truths is not a new phenomenon. Throughout history, humanity has always grappled with mysteries and narratives that defy conventional understanding. The possibility that Jesus has a lineage can intensify this search, leading individuals to question not only the history of the Church, but also their own cultural and spiritual identities. Furthermore, the relationship between faith and history would become a central theme in social discussions. The idea that history can be rewritten in light of new discoveries can generate a feeling of insecurity among those who seek absolute truth. This can result in social movements that advocate a more liberal interpretation of history, in which religious narratives are seen as fluid and constantly evolving. The repercussion of this type of revelation can lead to an increase in the diversity of religious beliefs and practices. Society may become more receptive to new interpretations of spirituality, resulting in a more pluralistic religious landscape. This could be beneficial as it would promote interfaith dialogue and mutual understanding, but it could also generate tensions between established traditions and new views of faith. What if everything we know about Jesus was about to change? With the supposed secret Vatican document at stake, the possibility of a hidden lineage gains strength. Imagine for a moment that, for centuries, the Church has hidden truths that could shake the foundations of Christianity. What would be the implications for the faith of millions of people around the world? Scholars and conspiracy theorists have debated this idea for years. What else could be hidden in the Vatican archives? What if, in fact, there is evidence linking Jesus to a royal lineage? How would this affect the narrative as we know it? The truth is closer than we think, and the answers may lie in unexpected places. If you are interested in ancient mysteries and occult knowledge, you can't let this conversation end here. What do you think? Does the Church really have information that would change our view of the figure of Jesus? And what would be the next steps if these truths were revealed? Continue exploring this fascinating universe and leave your opinion in the comments. What would you like to discover next? The journey is just beginning.